let's shift focus. Today we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Pawan Goenka, who is the current chairman of InSpace, which is the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. Well, he was also the former MD of Mahindra and Mahindra. He has recently been awarded the prestigious Padma Shri Award in the Trade and Industry category for his efforts in driving India's automotive and space revolution. Good afternoon, Mr. Goenka. It's a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you on the Padma Shri Award that you've recently received.
Thank you very much. It is nice to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goenka. So my first question to you will be around the space sector in India. What potential do you think India's space sector holds, and what kind of steps is India taking towards achieving it?
Well, see, space sector in India is running on two fronts. One is the technical, scientific, orbital or planetary missions that ISRO is spearheading. And as you know very well, that we have done quite well in the last few years, and we have fairly ambitious goals on what we will do on the scientific front. The other track that we are following is how does space economy grow in India very rapidly. And even though we are technically very advanced in space, the economic contribution to space here too has been very modest, only at about $8 billion. And our whole thrust is how do we take that $8 billion to something like $40 billion plus in the next 10 years. And that's what InSpace is primarily focusing on how do we bring private sector in space, how do we motivate them, how do we facilitate them, handhold them, mentor them to have them play a fairly meaningful role in the Indian space sector. And we are seeing fairly good advancement in that in the last 2-3 years with 200 plus startups, with a lot of headline news that's coming up from the private sector in space.
All right. Any kind of efforts that you're seeing India is looking forward to taking in this space sector?
Effort in what sense?
Effort in the sense seizing the opportunity, or maybe on more innovation kind of, because we are hearing a lot of buzz around AI. So if you can maybe give us some perspective on how that could help us thriving in the space sector.
Well, undoubtedly. I mean, look, the innovations in space are again happening on two fronts. One is what we call upstream. That means the launch vehicles, the satellites, the payloads. And ISRO is working on the sort of next generation launch vehicles, reusable launch vehicles that India does not have yet, which SpaceX has and has been using for many years. We are doing a lot of innovation on the satellite technology, making them lighter, less expensive, more technology in it. And also the optics are aware our ability to take photographs, which is the Earth observation remote sensing on higher resolutions, on clearer photographs, not being impacted by clouds and so on and so forth. All that is happening. That's one end. The other end is on the application side, and that's where AI comes in a very big manner. Use of AI techniques in doing better algorithms for applications using space data. And for most of the commercial applications of space, it's going to be coming from the application side, where we take the space data, and a lot of private sector companies, startups are working on that. And how do you use the space data to help us in agriculture, help us in marine, help us in disaster management, help us in weather forecasting, urban planning, all of these areas. And their AI will play a very big role in terms of getting robust algorithms.
So AI is definitely a positive for the Indian space sector, as in they could help us in terms of more innovation, if I'm not wrong.
Undoubtedly. I mean, if we don't adopt AI in our application algorithms, we will be left behind. We have to do that. And I think in some sense that gives us an edge over others, because India is already recognized to be a leading player in AI technology. And we have quite a number of engineers who are getting into AI, expertise that is being developed by all the IT companies or standalone AI companies. And therefore, it becomes a natural fit for us to take our AI expertise and sort of integrate that with our expertise in space technology. And how do we therefore create the best of algorithms for developing the space applications? And I think that would be a fairly big differentiator for India going forward, where we can merge these two and create APIs not just for use within India, but for exporting those APIs outside India.
Understood, definitely. One last question from my end. There's more buzz around how SpaceX is trying to, expand its presence over there. So how do you think such private companies might influence the future of space travel and research, and what impact could India have because of it?
I'll say SpaceX clearly has done significant level of innovation over the years. Today, if you look at the launch technology, the launch vehicles that they have, they're absolutely technologically most advanced in the world. Right? That kind of innovation is starting off in India with startups, but we are still not nowhere near the level of where SpaceX has reached. What my hope is that once the private sector matures more and more in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll start seeing higher impact innovation coming from startups. The good thing is that the startup work that is happening today is not just using technology on the shelf. In every case, they are doing something new. That's doing something new, but not an impact to the level of what SpaceX is having today. And again, I'm repeating that what I hope is that 5 to 10 years from now, that statement will change. And our startups, our legacy companies would be getting into a more cutting edge innovation, whether it is in launch vehicle, whether it is in satellites, payloads, doesn't matter. But we'll be getting into cutting edge innovation and be able to make an impact, not just in India, but globally to the level that SpaceX is making today.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that, Mr. Goenka. Definitely looking forward to a disruption in the space sector for India. But once again, congratulations on the
Thank you
Padma
so
Shri
much.
Award, and it's a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.